Good morning, everyone. Mrs. Norris here. So today I'm going to show you how to complete this first assignment in our Learn by Doing Google Docs section of our class. So this is lesson 1.1, Getting Started. And in this activity, we're going to be learning how to manage and organize our files in Google Drive. So looking at the overview, it says Google Drive is a cloud storage service which allows you to store your files and access them from any computer or device with an internet connection. Google Drive also allows you to create, share, and manage files, as well as collaborate with others while using its productivity apps such as Docs, Sheets, Slides, Forms, and Drawings, to name a few. Now, this might seem very familiar to you, and maybe perhaps you're thinking, why am I even learning this? I already know how to do it, but you never know. Sometimes you might learn something that you didn't know before, so it's a good thing to start at the very beginning. The skills that we're going to be learning today in this activity are how to access our Google Drive, how to create a folder, how to change a folder color, how to change the view, how to create a file, rename a file, close a file, and move a file. So below we see that there's a tutorials section. Right now you are watching the tutorial that is first, the tutorial that shows you how to complete this activity. To turn in this activity, you're going to be taking a screenshot of your drive so I can see that your files have been named and recolored. Okay. So you can see here, if you don't know how to create a screenshot on your Chromebook, there's a tutorial for that. If you don't know how to do it on your Mac, a tutorial for that. And if you don't know how to do it on any other kind of PC or laptop, there's a tutorial for that. Okay, so again, you will be turning in this activity with a picture of your drive with those files renamed and colored. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this window here so that it's about halfway. Okay, this way I can watch this tutorial that you're seeing right now, as well as complete the tasks that I need to fulfill the assignment requirements. Okay, so I'm going to click on the plus sign to create a new tab, and I'm going to bring that tab over here. All right. So again, you are watching this tutorial. You are watching me do this right here, but you are completing this stuff in these steps in a new window. So I'm going to pause for a moment and allow you to split your screen. I suggest you pause the video and do that. All right, so at this time, you're rewatching our tutorial and you have your screen split so that you have this tutorial on one side and a new page on the other. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my drive, and there's a few different ways to access your drive. I'm going to show you the simplest one. If you are in Google, you should see it's kind of difficult to see because of my color background, but if I hover in the right corner next to my icon, you'll see that it says Google Apps. Okay, so that's a waffle, and that waffle, if I click on it, shows me all of my Google Apps. Okay, so I'm going to click on the one that says Drive. Now, if for whatever reason you don't have the option on your main Google screen with a waffle in the top right-hand corner, you can also just go to drive.google.com, okay? And it will take you to where you need to go, all right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause this tutorial real quick and sign in with you as a student, because a student's file will be far less crowded than mine is with all of the assignments that I have on my drive. So give me one moment. All right, so I'm back, and as you can see, I'm now set with my student example, or my son's Google Drive, so we're right back at the beginning with far less assignments to have to wade through to complete this task, okay? So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder on our main drive where we're going to be saving our other folders. So again, there's a couple of different ways to do that. You can click on the down menu next to the words My Drive, and you can create a new folder there, or you can click on the New button and create a new folder here. Since I'm here, I'm just going to start here, okay? Can we please title this folder Norris 2020 CAD. So I have Norris 2020 with a colon and then CAD for computer aided design. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and click create. And you can see that it has shown up on my screen there. So I'm going to give you a moment to make sure that you have created that file. And now we're going to move on. Okay. So let's open that file. And you can see there's nothing in here. But again, we can create folders the same way that we created them on our main Drive page by clicking on the down arrow here and creating a new folder, or by clicking on the plus sign here and creating a new folder. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder. And can you please call this new folder My Docs, CDOCS, My Docs. Okay, once you've done that, click create. And then we're going to create another folder. So I'm going to go back up to my main, for the main class folder. I'm going to click that down arrow and I'm going to create another new folder. And we're going to call this one My Sheets. Create. New folder. My Drawings. And what's great about a video tutorial is that you can pause if you need the extra time to create the folder, so I'm not going too fast for you. Create. New folder. I'm sorry. That's a third way to create a folder. You can also right click and new folder there. So again, we can either do it this way, or by right clicking and creating a new folder. Okay. So now my forms. And finally, my slides, and then create. So now what we're going to do is, once we've created our file folders, we are going to change the color of these files. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on the folder itself. So I'm going to right click on Docs. Okay. And I'm going to go to change color, and we're all going to have the same colors for our files. So for my docs, I'm going to change the color. If I hover over, I see the different names of the colors, and I'm going to change this to Rainy Sky. So it's the blue color. Okay. Now I'm going to go to My Sheets, and I'm going to right click on My Sheets. And I'm going to change the color, scrolling over to find asparagus. So that's slime green, that won't work. Asparagus. The next thing I'm going to do is go to my drawings, and I'm going to color this one cardinal. So that's a red. I'm going to hover over until I find cardinal. I'm going to go to my forms. I'm going to change the color of my forms to Vern Fern, which I'm not totally sure what that is. Blue velvet, no. Pool, sea foam. I'm having a hard time with Vern Fern. Where would Vern Fern be? Toy eggplant, no, that's not it. So again, we're just trying to find Vern Fern, which is like a green. So there we go. It's actual green. Vern Fern. And then finally, my slides is going to be macaroni, which will be like a yellow. Oops, change color. Desert sand, no, macaroni. Okay, so now I've created all of my folders and changed the color of the folders as required. All right. So now I'm going to make the screen just a little bit bigger so you can see the options of how to see these different activity or these different folders. Because the other thing that we want to do, one of our skills was to change the view. So we've accessed the drive, we've created a folder, and we've changed that folder color. Now we're going to change the view. So mine is shown as the file with the name next to it in little squares. Okay. If I click on the picture in the top right hand corner, I can change it into list view, which is much easier to see. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new document, which many of us are familiar with. So this is going to be a pretty easy step for you. Okay. I'm going to go up to New, and I'm going to go to Google Docs. Okay. Also too, I can go to here, but that doesn't give me the option of creating a new document. Also, my right click does. So again, for creating a new document, slide, form, anything like that, I can either click on the new button here, or I can right click here. So I'm going to go ahead, and since I'm on the right click, I'm going to click on Google Docs. And it's going to open a new tab for me with this document. Now, the habit I want you all to get into, the very first thing is if you are creating a new document that needs to be submitted, then you're going to click on Untitled Document. Okay, Untitled Document. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to type your last name. Actually, type your full name so that I have that available to me. And then colon lesson 1.1. Okay, so again, in the top right-hand corner, or left-hand corner, sorry, where it says Untitled Document, you're going to change it to your first and last name with a colon, and then lesson 1.1. Now, the only thing that you need to do to make this document save is, as this new name, is to hit the return button. And you can see that it's saving, and it's saved to my drive. So we're going to move it later to where we want it to go. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is on the first line here, I'm going to type getting started with Google Drive. That's all you're going to do. Okay. You can see that it's saved, and you can tell that the last edit was just a second ago. I don't need to do anything else in Google to make it save. It saves automatically. Okay, so I hit the return button, and you can see that up at the top it said, if I hit the return button again, you can see it says saving and then saved to drive. Okay. So now we have our document, and I'm just going to close this by closing the X on the tab. Okay. Now we see that it's in our CAD folder, but it doesn't have a home. So because this is a Google Doc, we want to give it a home. And there's a couple of different ways to move a document from a drive, one spot to another. So from a drive into a folder. So I can either right click and move it this way, move to, or because it's within that larger CAD folder, I just need to move it to a smaller CAD folder. All I have to do is click. I don't know why my sheet's, there we go. I don't know why my sheet says, says once, and then, nope, we don't need it to do all of that. There we go. So let's try that again. Just click and drag to My Docs. Okay. So again, all I did was click and drag it to the My Docs folder. All right. Now, the last thing that you need to do is you need to submit this. So depending on what kind of device you are using, you are going to take a screen capture. So because I'm using a Mac, I'm going to take a screen capture using Shift, Command, and 4. And you can see my cursor has turned into a bullseye, we would call it. And I'm going to take a picture of this tab. So you do the same. Take a picture of the tab. And what this picture is going to tell me is that you've created your CAD folder with the correct name on your drive, that you've created each of your document folders and you've changed their color. So that's the first one. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is open the My Docs folder by double clicking, and I'm going to take a screen capture of this, because this will tell me that you created your document as required. You've changed the name of it and you put it in its right spot. Okay. And then also what you'll be doing is you'll be submitting this document as well. So you're going to submit 3 things: 2 screenshots and your document. So I know that these things have been completed. All right. So now if I close this window here, you can see on my folder, on my desktop, that these 2 images are here. So what I'm going to do is, rather than keep the screenshot name, let me see. So this is my actual CAD folder, and this is my 1.1 document. So I'm going to change it. If I change the name, I'm going to rename it to my first and last name, L for lesson 1_1. So again, first and last name, L for lesson 1_1 A. Okay, and then hit return. And then I'm going to change the name of this one as well to my first and last name, L for lesson 1_1 B. Okay. Now I have my 2 and I can submit them. So underneath, you should have the ability to submit the assignment. So I'm going to choose the file. I'm going to add another file. Okay. And then I also need to add that document, which isn't here. So I'm going to have to submit that a different way. So I'll figure that part out. But for now, what I want you to do is make sure that you, at the very least, submit your 2. Oh, actually, here's my Google Drive. Sorry, I need to do that. So my account. And I'm going to select that lesson 1.1. And I'm going to attach this file. And so once I have everything submitted, then I can go ahead and submit my assignment. Okay. So again, you're going to submit 2 screenshots and then your Google Drive file. All right. So one more time, it would be that first document that we just created. Okay. So once you're done, then submit your assignment and this activity has been completed.